Hey guys, happy 100th video. Today I want to talk about Panenka by Ronan Hessian. Like entropy, any community once large enough will eventually become partially unhinged. Sport fans have historically pulled their pants down, showing asses to get spanked for their shameful behavior. And among this giant fandom, football fans have been seen to be the most mentally unstable, saying soccer instead of football can send some of them on a lengthy angry rant, since they've replaced traits of characters and personality with liking a sport. Or at least a small portion of this giant fandom. Most of them I'm sure are quite self-aware that it's just entertainment. Football was something that offered an identity to people who didn't have one of their own. Panenka is a story about Joseph, an ex-footballer from Seneca. In a football match 25 years ago, he decided to do a Panenka, a penalty kick down the middle of the goal, hoping that the keeper will jump to either side and score the winning point. But it failed, miserably. As a result of one penalty kick, he became an exile in his own home, and this incident snapped Joseph, and the broken pieces become Panenka, who closed himself from his family and friends. The incident broke out the subtlety of the laws of cause and effect, and the backwards linearity between the two. A tragedy has no cause until it has happened. Unfairness was dispensed in gross measures, taking no account of proportionality. Panenka, guilty of one thing, had by extension become guilty of all things. He was starting to build his life at 50, living with his estranged daughter and her son when he started getting what he called a migraine for the face. He called it his iron mass. He found out early in the book the cause of those iron mass. He had tumor in the general area of his head, incurable. It struck him how unreliable age was as a measure of anything. All he did was count the distance from the start, when that truly mattered was the time remaining. Here he was, in midlife, facing the iron mass, beyond which lay no future version of himself. No 80-something Panenka in fake fur. The street sign with bicycle locked to them would outlive him. So too would the dented 4x4 barely park, as would the woman herself, even her scrawny dog. The world's bits and pieces, its props, its particularity, everything unimportant would outlast him. What was he but a vantage point? A retreating observer of all that would fill the moments in time that stretched out beyond him. While Panenka was doing on what he do with the information that he just got, and what he do with the rest of his life, we are introduced to a very interesting cast of characters beside Panenka. Mary Therese, his daughter, Arthur, her son, Vincent, the owner of the pub he frequents, Anthony, Baba, and Teddy, friends he made in the pub. And we also see his career in football, well, from entering the club into the fateful day of the penalty and its resulting failure. When you grew up somewhere, he said, and when your work amounts to a group of people who are all connected to the same place, it's impossible to keep any sort of separation. The people, the town, Seneca, it all becomes one thing. There are lots of unhappy people here, and it's a huge relief for them to agree on a single cause of that unhappiness, something they can understand and which costs them nothing. Most important of all, he met Esther, a woman who just moved to the city, a woman who also has experienced disappointment in her life. And Panenka connected to Esther in ways that he never thought possible. Resonance, he called it. A way that people can sometimes know about each other and learn to fix a broken life. A way where the broken pieces named Panenka can become Joseph again. Do you know the way between two people? There is wanting to but can't, wanting to but won't, and then not wanting to, she said. Panenka was pressing a clump of nettles into the bag carefully and talked about his answers. When you first came into my life, he said, I couldn't figure out what you were to me, or what I was supposed to be to you. But I like myself when I'm with you. You make me quiet inside. I honestly think the book is perfect. Its pacing, the character writing, the story, the dialogue, and God, the dialogue, they're so good. Here is another example of the dialogue between Panenka and his daughter Mary. You know, she said, her voice lowered, as I got older, I noticed that you needed me more than I needed you. And in a way, part of me wanted to deny you. The prospect of payback was tempting. I've grown up carrying this grieving child inside me, and I was angry at you on her behalf. If I had to, I could set out all my reasons for having you back in my life. But truthfully, I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I want to take on the whole world, and there are other times when all I want is for the world to take care of me. Mary Therese blinked to let the tears fall in ribbons down her rounded cheeks. "And now all this," she said. "And now all this." Then a couple shorter ones, "just because I want to." "I like that it's quiet," she remarked after a while. "Won't the quiet get to you? Won't you be lonely here? There isn't much to do around this area. It's all old people." "I'm not scared of that. Loneliness is a torch. It can show you things about yourself. Aren't you afraid of failing, letting everyone down?" Esther talked about it. "Maybe it's important that other people learn how to handle disappointment." The book is short and sweet. It told a really tender story without making it too melodramatic. It can even be funny at times with the character interaction, despite what the story told about tumor and about broken people. It really feels like a hug that you don't know yet you need. It's one of the best books I read this year, and I hope this book will get adapted just so I can hear some of these lines acted on screen. That's about it.